David Stevens is the first CIBSE Vice President with an estate and facilities background in 20 years, marking a significant milestone for the FM sector. He also currently serves as the chair of CIBSE FM Group and the CIBSE LGBTQI Panel. We spoke to Dave about the Vice Presidency and his plans within his new role. Congratulations on your new position as Vice President of CIBSE. What are your plans within the position?
Well, as Vice President of CIBSE, the role is to support the President in her theme for the year, as well as, of course, of being a trustee of the board, working together to support the art and sciences of building services. So Fiona's theme this year is Building Performance Reimagined. So with regards to buildings, we always think about how buildings perform in relation to lighting, energy, thermal comfort, etc. And we're thinking, so for 20, 30 years in the future, how can building performance be reimagined? So for instance, how does the building and built environment react to events such as climate change, possible floods, power outages, etc. at a large scale? So how does the built environment actually support and provide that resilience?
You're the first Vice President with an FM background in 20 years. What will your estates and facilities experience bring to your new role?
Well, it's really exciting to be the first Vice President of CIBSE with an FM operations background in 20 years. The last one was John Armstrong, who became CIBSE President in 2007. So as trustees, we act collectively, so we don't pursue individual objectives, but all of us have different engineering backgrounds and different environments to be working. So the key thing that I hope to be bringing to it is the knowledge and understanding that those who work in the operation environment know the best about how buildings actually perform. So it's not simply about engineering, it's that holistic view as to what happens in buildings, what they do, how they have to adapt, and how they have to perform. And that's key for me, is to make sure that that voice is represented at the top level management within CIBSE.
You joined CIBSE in 1993. What are some of your highlights being part of the organisation?
Yeah, 1993, that's quite a long time. My first membership level in CIBSE was a licentiate engineering technician. So that was my first level of registered engineer as an engineering technician. And somebody who didn't perform well at school and initially started as an apprentice electrician on the tools, to have then gone to university, studied to graduate with engineering degrees, and then become registered as a chartered engineer was just so warming for me. To have that recognition by your peers, because you become a chartered engineer by being interviewed by your peers who say that you operate at the right level, was really, really impactful for me. And that's something I think I'm most proud of in my career. I often simply say, I'm a chartered engineer. Whilst I'm a director of estates within the NHS, often I'll simply say, I'm a chartered engineer. I think the other thing that I'm really proud about is to be one of the founding members of what was originally the CIBSE Inclusivity Committee, which has now evolved into the Diversity, Equity and Inclusivity Committee, and I'm chair of the LGBTQI Panel, and I'm really proud of that. I think in my role now as Vice President of CIBSE, I have to be visible. I have to be a visible member of my community to show that your sexuality has absolutely no barrier to being successful.
Your team at East London NHS Foundation Trust has recently won a Design in Mental Health Award. Can you tell us more about this?
To win the award is absolutely fantastic. To be recognised for the work that the team is doing to support the trust, to support staff, patients and service users is just very, very powerful to receive that. Within the NHS, and I think within the built environment itself, the focus on staff well-being and the engaging of everybody into how the facilities, the buildings, the hospitals operate is key. And I think that's one of the things that is lacking, is that true voice of the service user in everything that you do. What we do at my trust, especially within estates, we co-design we co-produce, and we engage service users in absolutely everything that we do. I think we're the first trust in the country to have a dedicated people participation lead embedded within estates. So that's somebody who actively engages service users in everything that we do. And in mental health, that's really important to enable people to contribute to the environment in which they're receiving treatment and recovery. So we engage service users in our estate strategy. We're re-procuring hard FM. We've got a strategic sourcing program at the moment. We've got a patient actively involved in that, helping us design the specification, helping us interview candidates for provision. We've created environmental assurance groups where every single inpatient facility that we have has service users engaged in how we provide our services, how we design our services. And we've created a dedicated email address, which we make clear in all of our facilities so that service users, patients and their carers can directly contact estates with any issue or query they have about the environment, about the food provision, about the cleanliness, anything that we do in estates. And we have a dedicated response team to be able to respond to the questions, queries or thoughts that they have.